Hey everyone, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Today I just want to do a video about what substrates I've used and a couple of ones that I'm trying out. One of them for the first time. So let's get into it. Alright, when I first started keeping snakes, I was basically using that, I think it's called Repti something. You get it at like your Petco, your Petland, PetSmart, whatever it is, and it's fine. It works really good. It's really dusty, but when you start out, that's kind of what you're introduced to. And then I switched to paper. You know, just regular newspaper, but it's unprinted. You can get a good amount off of Amazon, and I really liked it. It made cleanup real easy, super quick to clean, but what I found, you know, you really have to stay on top of the humidity levels. So you have to mist quite often, make sure everything's good. And I'll be honest, I had a couple of not the best sheds. You know, they weren't horrible, but it didn't come off in one seamless skin. And then what happened for me is I had a family emergency, so I had to leave for about a week and a half, and I knew I couldn't leave them on paper because of the humidity. So I went and bought some Reptichip. Yep, there it is, Reptichip. Because I knew I was going to be away, and I had someone come over. They basically just made sure they had fresh water while I was gone. And when I came back, a few of the snakes had shed, and all the tanks were nice and moist. The humidity was great. The sheds were perfect. So I said, you know what? It's just better to stick with the coconut, because the environment for the snakes, it just seemed a lot better, a lot easier, maybe a little bit more expensive, but in the end it's going to be better for the snakes. So I switched to Reptichip, and then I got connected with a local company here in Nebraska. This is Exotichip, and I've never used this, but we're going to find out today and compare the two. It's not really to debate which is better. I just figured I'd have both. We can take a look at, you know, everyone knows Reptichip, but maybe not everyone knows about Exotichip. So let's check out how they disperse into their bins, the amounts that they have. And no one sponsored this. This is just something I'm using and giving a shot. So let's do it. Alright, so the first one I guess we'll do is this, is the Reptichip. And one thing I noticed just off the bat about the difference is the packaging. So Reptichip seems to have more of a hard plastic packaging, whereas this one's kind of like cellophane. So we'll see how it works when we add water. Never used it before. Used this one twice. And I'll show you how I open up these blocks and break them down. You know, I watched a lot of different YouTube videos, different people doing it their way, what works for them. I kind of took a little bit from everybody and just figured out what works for me in my situation. You know, I don't have a big sink in the basement that I could submerge them in. And honestly, for me, I don't like that. I feel like when you put it in the water, you lose, some of it breaks off, not a lot, but you know, I want to use as much as I can. I paid for it, so make it last as long as you can. So what I do is pour a gallon in. Now I've seen people pour 2 gallons in, 1.5 gallons, 3 gallons, but I find 1 gallon, it breaks down pretty simply, and it's not too moist. Like all of these bins, I don't even miss them. They just stay humid. It's been perfect. So the one thing that I do is I have a gallon of water, and I take some of the mite spray and I just pour a little bit in. I don't know if it helps. I don't think it hurts. So I just pour a little bit of this in each gallon. I figure, why not? It can't hurt. You know, and I just want to be safe than sorry. So not much, just a little bit. Give it a little shake, and let's start pouring. All right, so we have the Reptichip going. You see it's absorbing quite a bit, expanding. So we'll let that sit for a while. And then let's try the Exotichip. So one thing I noticed on the size of the two, the Reptichip is slightly bigger, slightly wider, slightly taller. I weighed them just to see what the difference, right? Because size doesn't matter. I don't know. But Reptichip's just about a pound heavier than Exotichip. So let's see the end result though. How much fills these bins. And again, we just got our water. Pour a little bit of the mite. We'll just leave that there. Hopefully I don't knock it over and spill it everywhere. Shake it up and let's start soaking. So I'm noticing right away, this one you have to go a little slower. And of course, I forgot to take the paper out of this one. Close call. I don't know if it's picking it up, but it sounds like I'm making popcorn. The plastic is just popping. All right, so we will let these sit for, I don't know, 15-20 more minutes and let them expand, do their thing. I can see this one already is just busting through its wrapping. So yeah, we'll see. All right, so we're about 10 minutes in. This one is just crumbling right away, which is really cool. I'm gonna open up, this is the Exotichip. I'm gonna open up a little bit of the four corners of the Reptichip to let it start breaking up if it wants to do the same. Yeah, as soon as I did that, it just blew up. So I guess because the packaging on that is a little weaker, it's able to start expanding. But oh yeah, this is breaking up just the same. So I'll give it another 10 minutes and we'll start breaking them down and see how they look. Be back in 10. All right, it's been about 20 minutes. Let's take a closer look, break these down and see how well each one is. I'm sure that they're both great products, and I will have links in the description below where you can get them or where I've gotten them, and their pricing. I'll talk about that a little bit too. Let's see how they break down. All right, this one here is the Exotichip. I noticed it's a little darker than the Reptichip, and it has not a bad smell, it's just a more potent smell. But let's see how we can break this down after 20 minutes, 1 gallon of water. Got some chunks here, but I don't mind the little dry chunks, because once it's all mixed up, I find that it just, it all gets hydrated in the tub. So real simple. So again, this guy ships throughout the United States, but what's nice is he's a local guy, you know, not a huge distributor as yet, but I can get, because he's close by and I don't have to pay for shipping, I can get 2 blocks for $30, or so $15 a block. And if I buy 10, I could get 10 blocks for $125, so it knocks it down to $12.50 a block. So I mean, as a small time beginner, right now I'm a keeper, not a breeder. You know, financially that just makes a lot of sense. So, and if you do if you do order this, online, it's I think $30 shipping, and I bought my Reptichip off of Amazon for $32.12 shipping. So they're both reasonably priced, but that's pretty much it. You know, I just mix it up. Whatever is a little dry will get a little wet over time. Usually what I do is when I store it, you know, the top is a little drier, and I'll come in and I'll just kind of mix it up a little bit, and it just keeps the humidity really well. And here are the chunks. Doesn't seem too dusty when I look down at the corners. So first time using it, not bad. Let's check out the Reptichip and how that one compares. All right, here's the Reptichip. Everyone's familiar with them. And this one, again, is just 1 gallon of water. Breaks down really well. And again, I just start breaking it down. I mean, now with the water, I'd say the smell is pretty much the same. I'll say the other one broke down maybe a little easier. I think both companies are great, but financially, I gotta go with what works sometimes. Unless anyone wants to sponsor me, I'll be glad to use their product. Probably not there yet on a breeder level, but maybe one day. All right, and there's the Reptichip. I think they're pretty similar. Let me see, let's bring this one over. I would say the Exotichip is a little darker, and it has less little fibers. I'd say Reptichip maybe slightly more in a bag, but I mean, not by much, if anything. They're both pretty similar. So we'll just give these a shot and see how the snake likes it. All right, there you have it. We have Reptichip, Exotichip. I think both are great. For me, just because Exotichip is local and I can get 2 for the price of 1, I'm gonna have to start using Exotichip. You know, it's a local company, local guy, so definitely gotta support each other during these times. But it's just great to have options. Again, there'll be links in the description below for both companies. If you're in the Omaha, Nebraska area, Exotichip, great opportunity, save a little bit of money so you could put them back towards your snakes. All right, thanks again. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will catch you next week.